Hi, my name is Sasha Segan with PCMag.com, and this is What's New Now. The Wall Street Journal reported today that FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler wants to split the baby on net neutrality, potentially giving broadband providers the freedom to do nearly anything they want to consumers as long as they treat content providers equally. The plan would divide broadband into two classes of service: a lightly regulated retail service and a more heavily regulated back-end service, so the FCC could put the smackdown on ISPs who, for instance, try to slow down Netflix in favor of their own video services. This wouldn't lower consumers' rates or make more options available to ordinary Americans, though. The bigger question the FCC is grappling with is whether to make broadband a common carrier. That could go two ways. It could mean that the FCC could regulate the broadband companies' prices and profits, as well as requiring them to serve certain areas. That strikes terror into the broadband guys' hearts, and they say they'd essentially stop investing in their networks if that happened. Common carrier could also lead the FCC to require that cable and DSL providers host competitors at regulated wholesale rates, like they did between 1996 and 2003. Federal courts shut down that requirement in 2003 and 2004. It's surprising that nobody's talking about actually increasing competition in home broadband, as the New York Times found today that big American cities lag behind other countries in broadband speed and affordability. One of the big differences is that in Europe, the broadband providers are still required to lease their lines to competitors, so there's a lot more competition in the service. The fastest internet in the US, the Times says, isn't coming from the big incumbent providers, but from publicly owned networks and new entrants like Google Fiber. In cities where those competitors are available, the cable and DSL providers have been forced to raise their games. But more than 20 states have laws pushed by the telecom industry that prevent or discourage cities from setting up their own competitive broadband networks. We'll likely find out what the FCC plans to do next month. I'm Sasha Segan, and that was What's New Now.